Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, where today I'm still recovering and there will still be throat clearing. But we're playing the game. Also, I learned why I wasn't getting any G-Rank Cantor parts. They don't exist. There is no G-Rank Cantor armor in this game. A Cantor only exists in G-Rank through an event quest and doesn't have any gear to go with it. Which means I have no idea what those stones it gave were for. Where is the Cantor stuff in here? It's probably somewhere. Oh, yep, there it is. Yeah, the stones don't even live with the Acantor stuff. Great stones live down here. No idea what they're for. Also, that means that in terms of making armor sets that can potentially improve on what we've got going on right now, there are very few options. But if I want to make something that actually has a chance of beating out this Narga hammer, apparently what I want to do is just make an almost full Rathalos X set. Because with Rathalos X helm, gloves, waist, and legs, and the right decorations, you can get attack up large, sharpness +1, crit draw, not that that matters. And that's it, actually. The chest just needs to have a 3-slot. And really the interesting part there is attack up large and sharp +1. There's a few sets you can make that get sharp +1, sharp speed, and razor sharp, and crit eye +1, which is nice, but they have to use a couple of low rank pieces. Or not low rank, high rank. Lower than G rank. There are a few sets that I could make that would be actually considerably nicer for specifically this weapon. And looks like a mix of Diablos Z and Wrath Soul would actually be really nice for the set that I am, or for the weapon that I'm using right now. And the gloves are not part of that, or the Diablos gloves aren't. But apparently I've just never fought a G-Rank Azure Rathalos. And that's not going to change today. Because it's time to do some training. Defeat the monster with set equipment. A single revival means defeat during the training. Okay, so hang on a sec. This guy... he hates people who go on about a revival or two not being a bad thing. So this guy hates the people who say it's okay to cart, as long as you clear the quest. He hates those people. Dude hates me, I guess. Wait, what? Why is the... Why is the training school closed? So yeah, we have to finish each of these with at least one weapon in order to unlock certain quests. So let's start with the cuckoo. And of course, I will be using the hammer. Apparently this training set doesn't believe that we need a chest or helmet. Ooh, power juice. Dude freaking canceled out of his taunt to tailspin me. And that's an almost dead cuckoo. And that's a dead cuckoo. Why'd they put rocks over there? Can I? I can get up on this ledge. What are these rocks covering? Outlander, the Cuckoo Headbreak only has one stage here as well. It's the ears fold in when it's almost dead. That's been a thing in every game I've played with Cuckoo in it. Okay, if memory serves, I used dual blades as my secondary whenever hammer wasn't available the first time I was doing all this. Yeah, Outlander, I know those are the old-gen indestructible rocks they use to seal things off. I'm just wondering what they were blocking in this arena. Like, they're there, but what are they trying to stop us from accessing? So, this paralyzed Thurknuf is going to be used when this thing enrages. Feels kind of weird having my weapons make Velociprey noises. Dude, stop back hopping. Oh, there go the left claws. You know what also feels wrong? Rolling in demon mode. Where are my quick steps at? And the answer is in Gen 3 and later. I think you could do them in Gen 3. Maybe it's a Gen 4 thing, I don't know. Okay, now he's mad. Time for the paralyzed Thurknuf. Kind of surprised we didn't break the crest. So this guy's actually giving us giant bones, despite the fact we don't get to keep them, whereas the cuckoo gave us power seeds. Outlander, this is the single-player training. So, these ones are not designed around two-player. There is multiplayer training as well. It's a separate thing. But, I only need to do one of them. I don't have to do the multiplayer stuff to unlock anything. Oh boy, new quests at the training school. Ah, now the second option is open. Okay, for Kezu, I guess I'm gonna go Greatsword. More of an axe, but okay. Let's see, do I have any... Got defense plus 20. And that greatsword only has yellow sharp. Maybe I'm not going greatsword. Yeah, I'm not going greatsword. Low sharpness modifier is terrible, and I do not wish to deal with it. Wow, this sword... Like, Jin is a pretty common weapon in the series history, but it looks so different in this game. Like, it's an iconic sword, but it's a completely different sword here. The shield's the same. Here, okay, fine. Can't believe the Kezu theme takes priority over the arena theme. Thanks for exploding that for me. Yeah, Outlander, I'm the opposite. I actually prefer the new design of Jin. Makes the sword look more substantial. Looks like we don't have shield bashes in this game. It's a shame. I would love to bonk this thing in the face a whole bunch. Having a gap closer attack is so great against Kesu. Also, ow. Why am I sheathing? I don't have to sheath to heal. That was quick. Didn't even do its low health animation. Outlander, that sounds like exactly the reason that I used Insect Glaive in Monster Hunter 4, because it was the only weapon that started with green sharp. The visual on fire element weapons is a little intense in this game. It's like they're exploding with every strike. Alright, looks like we are dual blading this crab. Ooh, blue sharp. And we've got marathon runner as our skill. Which, pretty nice skill to have for dual blades. Don't know why I keep looking in the boxes. Better the claw than the beam, I suppose. Thanks for giving me that. Want to get back to blue sharp. And that attack should let me, or not, because wind effect. This attack should let me. Maybe if I was a little farther. Ouch. There we go. Now we're back to blue. Buddy, your jumps only have verticals. What were you even trying there? And crab's almost done. Also, I only just realized that there's no Archdemon mode in this game. Took a risk there. But it seems that my risk has not been punished. Probably would have been punished if he wasn't doing the random stabs. Also, apparently he was one hit away from dying when he burrowed. Yeah, Outlander monsters get far more aggressive when enraged. in these older games. If they did that with their modern movesets, though, I'd imagine a lot of players would complain a whole heck of a lot. Because even non-enraged, modern monsters are capable of doing a lot more. Like, their movesets are a lot deeper, they move faster, they can respond better to a lot of different things. So if they still got this same level of aggression increase when enraged, it would make the games significantly harder. Actually, the G-Rank coins that we can get from the G-Rank training are something I should really consider, considering the G-Rank Black Belt set, which I think uses the coins. G-Rank Black Belt set is... it's like Sharp +1. Let me look, actually. Sharp +1 and all resistance +3. And has +5 base resistance to everything, and it's got a 3 slot and 2 slots to work with. Which you can put a decent skill in. I guess if Sharp +1 and defenses are the only things you care about, Black Belt X is good, but I actually do care about other things, so maybe not. Alright, is this a good hammer? It looks like the generic, like, Wyvern Bone one? Yeah. But hey, it's got green sharp. We've got snow res, so I don't gotta get snowmanned. So, Outlander, as far as monsters doing less damage goes, while that's true during the main story, endgame quests in modern games have much harder hitting monsters. Like guild quest monsters, hyper monsters, anomaly monsters. When you get to the higher levels of those quests, they are all far more punishing than anything this game has to offer. So, while a lot of people will say that, oh, modern Monster Hunter games are easier because the monsters don't do as much damage, that's only true until you clear the game. The post-game content, modern games almost always have the classic games beat. Which, honestly, I think is the better way to handle it. Like, you want to backload your difficulty, not front-load it. And, like, it honestly makes some sense that they do that. Because in these older games, like at least the ones that I've played, most of them don't exactly have an end game. Or a post game, rather. Like, what's the post game in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite? Oh, it's just getting check marks and then also fatalises. What's the post game in Monster Hunter Tri? Farm more Alatreons. What's the post game in Portable Third? Farm Morimatsu. Monster Hunter 4 was the first Monster Hunter game I played that actually had, like, a continuous post game where it's, hey, do guild quests that are getting ever harder. Like, every game I've played that came out before Monster Hunter 4, well, almost every game, once you beat the final boss, all that's left is beat the final boss some more. 3U was a bit of an exception with Lucent Narga and Abyssal Laggy. But that's not a huge post-game or anything. That's 2 monsters. So modern Monster Hunter games from 4 onward are actually designed for players to keep on playing after they have finished the story. Whereas the ones before that, finishing the story was basically the goal, and the rest was keep playing if you enjoy it. As opposed to keep playing to continue advancing even after rolling credits. And the difficulty curve leading up to that point reflects those different philosophies. The newer games are easier to get to the end and harder to stick around in. The older games, getting to the end is the goal, so it's harder to do. And Blangonga down. Yeah, Outlander, I can definitely agree. I hope that Wild's low rank isn't as mindless as Rise's. Though, the combat differences between base Rise and the Wild's beta, I have a feeling that it won't be the same. Because, like, Wild's hunters are capable of a lot, especially with certain weapons. But the monsters are also capable of a lot, and we don't have wirefall or anything. We can't just quickly shoop around and avoid everything. So I think it'll at least require a bit more deliberate action than base Rise did. A bit. And now to put a hammer on a Garuga's face. We do in fact get a green sharp hammer. And they give us a shock trap. Interesting. You know, oddly, Outlander, I did try every weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds' beta. I did my experimentation off stream, but I did try them all. I beat a Chatacabra with all of the weapons. And it was the first time I ever actually felt good playing with a lance. To hear that it's slower than in World is actually kind of surprising. Like, I felt capable with it. I was able to turn and face everything I needed to. I was able to keep the poking up. It's the first time I had ever, like, felt like Lance was enjoyable to use for me. Also, this here is a rare sight. A Garuga with both ears. Fixed. And thus have we seen the birth of a scarred Yon Garuga. That was close. This dude just loves taunting. Roar into insta-charge. Gunlance was also surprisingly fun in Wilds. Like, Gunlance has always been one of my worst weapons, and I have never really enjoyed it. But Wilds Gunlance was... it was a blast. Switch Axe is still my favorite weapon in it, but a lot of weapons really rose in my esteem. And a couple really fell. Insect Glaive especially, because the control scheme for Glaive on a controller in Wilds seems to be made with people who have two right thumbs in mind. And unfortunately, I was born with only one right thumb. I also, light bowgun was my second least favorite weapon in the beta. Mainly because I just don't like how its focus strike is limited to an ammo type that recovers over time. Like, you can't just do a focus strike on any wound that shows up. You need to have the special ammo charged and ready to be used. And that just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it meshes with the actual mechanic of wounds and focus strikes. Heavy bowgun had the same issue, but at least heavy bowgun has meteor shots that feel better when they hit things. Yeah, Insect Glaive changed a lot going into Wilds, and in order to play it to its full potential, you need to basically always be holding left trigger, always be holding, or at least frequently be using right trigger. I forget whether it was always or frequently. be tapping the triangle button while also holding the circle button. So hold circle, tap triangle, hold L2, also use the right stick to aim, and sometimes use R2. So yeah, that's the number of fingers you need to have engaged constantly in order to play Insect Glaive on a controller to its maximum potential. Doing it with mouse and keyboard is easier because then at least you don't need to be using the right stick, you just move your mouse. But yeah, feedback on Glaive has resulted in them doing a lot of changes to it for the full game, so it's going to be better than it was in the beta. To what extent and how, I can't tell you, but it's going to be better. Okay, so we've got a poison weapon for the sword and shield. I believe I used greatsword for this quest when I did it the first time. We got plenty of green sharp on here. Attack up large and crit eye 1. Because crit eye prior to Gen 3 was called Reckless Abandon. I feel like Reckless Abandon is a more fitting name for the negative skill for crit eye. Because, like, if you're being reckless, that's when you're gonna sometimes miss. Not when you're gonna sometimes hit harder. So yeah, I'll go with this set. We've got throwing knives. I guess those are to detonate the bombs that we have. Oh, hello. Feels like greatsword charges a lot slower in this game than in later ones. And this is a Gen 2 game, the first generation where greatswords could charge. Thankfully, bombs do fixed damage no matter what they blow up on, so as long as they hit them, the damage is dealt. Outlander, we can absolutely talk about Wilds. I want to play it so bad as well, and it's coming in less than 2 months. Well, so much for that knife. Time to do it manually. Wow, I didn't even get blown up by that. Thanks for being long, greatsword. right. His tail goes to the left when he's done charging. Buddy, can you let me out of this corner? Ow. Normally a blind Tigrex is a behaved Tigrex. This one is putting that adage to... It's giving it a real test of veracity. Ow. Probably should have saved the second flash, but oh well. Could try and get this guy's teeth stuck. What an idiot. Kinda sad I didn't get the tail. But given that this is an arena quest, I didn't need to. It wouldn't have done anything other than satisfy my craving for tail cuts that goes unscratched in all of these hammer quests. Actually, let me find it. Yeah, so after having tried all of the weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds beta, I did create a ranking list of how much I enjoyed each one. And there were definitely some surprises on there. Two in particular. So, going from the bottom up, I actually had two lines on the list. There was the pleasant line, as in every weapon above this line is pleasant to play. And the fun line, where every weapon above this line is actually fun to play. So actually the pleasant line isn't everything above here is pleasant to play, but rather everything above here is not agony to play. There was only one weapon below the pleasant line. That was Glaive. And the only other weapon below the fun line was light bowgun, but heavy bowgun was pretty close to the fun line. So heavy bowgun I did have fun with, but not that much fun. Light bowgun I did not have fun with. And Insect Glaive was not even pleasant to play. It was unpleasant to play. But then going up from Heavy Bowgun, Gunlance was above the fun line for the first time ever. Still the lowest ranked melee weapon for me, but that's still a huge improvement for the Gunlance specifically. And then Greatsword was above that, Hunting Horn above that, Lance, surprisingly, was above the Pleasant line for the first time ever. And also above Hunting Horn, which I have enjoyed a couple times in the past. And above Greatsword, which I have also enjoyed in the past. Bow was above Lance, highest any ranged weapon has ever been for me. But that's just because Bow felt really super good in the Wilds beta, to the point that they actually did nerf its best feeling feature a little bit. But they are raising its less good feeling stuff to make up for that. And then above the Bow, we've got SNS. Above SNS, we've got Dual Blades. Above Dual Blades, we've got Longsword, which actually was more fun in Wilds than I have felt having Longsword, or using Longsword in a while. Mainly because of the changes it got to how its red spirit level works, adding extra strikes to all of its attacks. Just feels really good. It's flashy as heck. And then Charge Blade felt better than Longsword, which is actually a bit of a surprise, because I don't dislike Longsword at all. And, like, Rise Charge Blade felt like cheating to me in the Rise beta, or demo, or whatever, when it used its counter file filling art, or Silkbind or whatever. Felt like cheating. I'm surprised Charge Blade actually stayed so high going into Wilds. And then above Charge Blade, we've got Hammer. I love me some Hammer. Hammer feels good in Wilds. Not as good as it does in Iceborne, though. Iceborne Hammer is a treat. Mainly because of its Clutch Claw interaction actually being really fun. Iceborne Hammer without Clutch Claw is worse than Wilds Hammer, I will say that. And then, of course, at the top we've got Switch Axe. I love me some Switch Axe. Once I actually learned the new moves, all of them, there were a few that I basically just didn't use on stream for a while. Once I learned all of the new moves and how to use them properly, it started feeling a lot better. Whereas, like, at first, when I had first started playing the beta, I was saying that Switch Axe didn't feel very good. Like, not as good as usual. And I was kind of disappointed. That is no longer the case. Switch Axe, once I learned its new moves and how to use them and all that, it actually felt significantly better. It's a weapon that, as presented, unless you take the time to learn it, does not feel good in Wilds. But once you learn it, like, it's got depth to it that it didn't used to have. And that depth does feel good. And it can still zero-sum. They just changed the input in order to zero-sum. You now have to hold triangle and circle instead of just tapping them while you're amped. So yeah, all my complaints about Switch X went out the window once I learned how to actually make use of it in Wilds. But apparently, enough people were upset enough about Switch X that it's getting some reworks between the beta and the full game. Who knows what those will entail? But hey, if they buff a weapon that I was already enjoying and was already my favorite, who am I to complain? As long as they don't make it feel even worse somehow, which I doubt they will. They want to make it feel better. Now to sharpen in total safety, because this move is pathetic in 2nd gen. Excuse me, why did that not flash you? Hey, we actually got a para. And because this thing's paralyzed, we hit it right in the grundle, because that's a Diablos' weakest point to impact damage in this game, as far as I'm aware. Honestly, Outlander, I kind of hope they don't swap Zero Sum's controls back, because it gives us more control over what we're doing, because, like, there are times where you might want to just do a grounded discharge instead of latching on for Zero Sum. And being able to just tap to do the grounded discharge, or hold to do the Zero Sum, that's nice. The only problem is, once you're done holding to Zero Sum, as soon as you've latched on, you need to switch to mashing. And looks like we get to hammer everything that's left. At least in the beginner training. Okay, what do we got? Sleep negated, that's good info. And we've got plenty of green sharp. Outlander, I have to disagree on exactly one point there. There are absolutely some weapons that should be relatively simple to play. A hammer should never approach the complexity of a switch axe or a charge blade. But I do appreciate the slight added depth that they have given to hammer in Wilds. Namely, the new charge move is nice, but the ability to hold your upswing to do an offset is pretty cool. Honestly, offset attacks in general are pretty cool. I hate that I've got sleep negate, which makes me immune to the sleep gas. But I still get flinched by it unless I'm in the middle of an attacking animation. Like, I can't walk in on sleep gas, I have to already be there. I'm glad this particular Gravio seems to like sleep gas so much. Yes, absolutely, Outlander. The best part of this Gravios is that it cannot hide in lava pools and just laser me constantly. The worst part of it is it's still a Gravios with Gravios hitboxes. More spinning. Honestly, spinning and sleep gas are the best things you can do for me. Have I poisoned this thing? There goes the last of my healing, though there might be more in gatherable piles like that one. We'll see if I end up actually needing it, though. If I take another hit, I'll start looking for healing supplies. Another significant hit. If my health goes below half, they're making me hunt this thing while wearing its child. Okay, now it's time to hunt for healing. Just need to get this Gravios to commit to something. That's not healing. But it's also not useless. Oh. Someone's cap ready. So they give us 3 whetstones for this quest. Under what situation would we actually need more than 2? I guess if we're like exclusively hitting the hardest part on this thing's body? Maybe? Yeah, I think you'd have to do, like, all of your damage to the feet in order to even need more than 2. Possibly even need 2, period. With how long ago it limped, I'm surprised it's not dead yet. Rolled through the tail. Nice. Yeah, that's right. Do some spins. There we go. Yeah, I didn't even hit yellow a second time. Getting a lot of Poke points out of this. And now for the most annoying one. Because it's a freaking pony. Okay, we've got some green sharp. And adrenaline +2. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna really want to be using adrenaline against a Kieran. Oh, we've got a Sply Max potion. I will use that upon getting hit. I will use that upon taking a serious hit. Yeah, Outlander, Sply Max Potions absolutely taste the best out of all Max Potions. I wish I could have a Sply Max Potion on every quest. Yeah, I can take one more hit. Maybe not lightning, but... Ow. Please don't end this. Thank you. If this was a modern Kieran who had the kick, I probably would have carded. But no, this is a janky-ass Gen 2 Kieran. It's a shame. I don't think this thing can be KO'd. Best we can do is the occasional knockdown, I'm pretty sure. Ow. Pretty sure our health is currently too high for adrenaline to kick in, so like, yeah. You're fighting this thing with adrenaline. Its physical attacks might not be able to do you in quite so easily, but its lightning attacks will absolutely just fry you to a crisp, and when it can do randomly striking lightning, or lightning that targets a specific player and thus can really punish the heck out of you if you are in an animation that requires commitment. Yeah, I'm not about to go adrenaline on a Kieran. Wow, sub 5 minutes. Even without adrenaline. Yeah, of all the monsters in these arena quests, I think Kieran is the one I am least inclined to use adrenaline on. Admittedly, there are others that I wouldn't risk it. But Kieran seems the most able to still get you even if you're playing well. Simply because of the random nature of some of its attacks and the specifically player location targeting nature of another attack it has. Ooh, an expand pickaxe. Later known as a slick axe. So we beat a Kieran, and now we can do Rajang, huh? Okay, so we have done all of the battle training with at least one weapon. Now to do all the special training with at least one weapon. And you'll note that the special training does not occur in the arena, but rather in locales. So, off to the desert for Cephadrome. Okay, we do get Green Sharp with the dual blades, and crit I1. But only small barrel bombs to make noise with. That's honestly kind of terrible. Let's see. Longsword gets Sonics. That's considerably better. Wow. A gunner can use Kragas to do it, and apparently a gunner has to use Kragas to do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Longsword here. I don't think I've actually tried Longsword in this game before, but we'll see what it's like. I'm pretty sure it doesn't level up with its Spirit Slashes yet. I think that was a 3rd gen edition. Yeah, we'll see. And nothing in the box. Makes sense. I forgot to check this equipment. It does not have Green Sharp. That is awful. But at least we've got Auto Tracker. Okay, that's a Los. Drome's way over there. Wow, we don't even have cool drinks. Rude. Okay, so the Spirit combo ends before even the Spirit Round Slash. That wasn't even a thing yet. That's the end of the combo right there. Though they did make the final downward swing have a nice ground-breaking effect to impress upon the player that it's very strong. I'm not sure they wanted the longsword to win this quest. Though I think this Cephadrome is almost dead. I need to get back to base and use the bed before I melt. Yeah, Outlander, all of the quests in or all of these training quests do have supply scrounging as a thing. But still. And hey, the Cephadrome has gone somewhere I don't have to worry about melting. And why bother searching for cool drinks near water when you can just not use a cool drink for the entire duration of the quest? Gotta make sure I'm not at freaking orange sharp. Of course, now when this Cephadrome gets out of the sand is entirely up to the fish. Or not. Wow, it's dead, but... had to wait for it to fully land on the ground for the quest to be... or for the quest to realize it was over. Yeah, not gonna lie, that quest was a little bit suffering. So, we get an attack boost when we have filled our spirit gauge. And then our spirit attacks are just those. Fade Slash only goes backwards. Cannot Fade Slash to the side. Yeah, Longsword's kind of suffering in this game. Oh boy. They're giving us training. There actually is a training quest against every fish in this game. That's annoying. So I already know this is a good hammer. Yep. And we've got Evade +1, which will certainly be useful against a Plesioth's hitboxes. The problem is that it's a Plesioth. So what I want is a frog. Can I find a frog? That's not a frog. That is also not a frog. I need to not let these Velociprey tear me apart. That's what I need to do. No, the fish just moved into that area as we left it. Maybe this Bullfango is made of frogs. It was made of flash. Can't help but feel like flashing a Plesioth would actually be a very bad idea. Because that'll just convince it to do more hip checks and more tail spins, and those are the worst attacks to see from a Plesioth. But hey, we have officially learned that Bullfangos are made of flashes. So we got a portable spit. Why would they even give us that in this quest? Do they really expect us to take that long to kill one fish? Oh, it moved areas right as we came in here. Okay, Velociprays are made of throwing knives. Not particularly helpful. Can I get anything from here other than paintballs? Or is it only paintballs? Quest info freaking says, oh, tracking it between areas is easy, but you'll have to figure out your own way to get it out of the sea. Tracking it between areas is easy. Here are some paintballs. I don't need paintballs. There's only 2 places it can go, and one's right there. So, maybe we do need to find frogs in order to even get this thing on land in this quest. So I guess the frog hunt is on. If I was a frog, I would be near one of the ponds over here. Or maybe hiding amongst these mushrooms. But no, that's where large barrels live, apparently. Suddenly, the weather worsens. Must be a Kushala passing overhead. Okay, so the crabs are made of small barrel bombs, not useful to us. Mega potions are helpful, so... Oh, but there's only one. Or no, because it would have said... Would have said there's nothing left if there was only one. We just have a chance to also gather nothing here. Because that's, you know, pleasant. Here at the Mega Potion spot, you can also sometimes just not get anything. And it uses one of your gather attempts. Ooh, Sonic Bombs. Okay, those at least help. I would still like a frog. But Sonic Bombs, I mean, they'll piss it off and sometimes convince it to come on land. Now to see what Aptonoths are made of. I should have seen that coming. Considering they gave us a portable spit. I pressed the wrong button to try and finish it. It's X, not circle. Okay, whetstones from this mushroom patch. Not going to need more than 2 of those. Probably not even going to need the 2. And what about this mushroom patch? Bomb material. Not useful. Are Kelbies made of something useful? First aid meds. I would care more about that if I didn't have 8 mega potions. A net. Could use that to make a bug net if I got bones. Oh, and an iron pickaxe. What? Oh, good. The weather has cleared up a little. Now we can see better. Okay, there's a mushroom patch over there. Antidotes are not going to be of any use whatsoever. Maybe I should have just called it good when I found Sonics. Are the moss wine made of frogs? Nope. I'll take a book of combos. That means Book of Combos 1 has to be somewhere, right? Oh, another Mega Potion honey spot. Another pickaxe mushroom spot. Let's pop into here. And what have congas got inside of them? Potions. Honestly, the most helpful a conga has ever been. Psycho Serum is not all that useful, considering there are exactly 2 areas the fish can be in. But it can be in deep water in one of those areas, so I guess the Psycho Serum isn't worthless. There are situations where a Psycho Serum could help us Okay, why did I even need to have nets if there's just bug nets? Maybe there's a trap tool somewhere. But yeah, there are situations where a Psycho Serum could help us locate the fish when we would be actually unable to find it with our eyes. Gourmet fish isn't bad. Oh no, my least useful item. Not what I expected to mine up. What about the egg spot? What do the eggs give? A farcaster. I don't need a farcaster. In fact, I probably should clean out my inventory a little bit. I don't need this map. I know exactly where I am and where things are. I don't need the portable spit. I don't need burnt meat. Don't need the bomb material. Don't need the barrel. Don't need the small barrel bombs. Wonder if I have to carve one of these insects to get a frog. Okay, more supply flashes. Don't know why they're in eggs when they are also in bullfangos. Okay, we got a carvable Banahabra, or not Banahabra, Vespoid. Psycho Serum, not useful. Well, not useful at this point, I've got enough. Okay, so there are in fact trap tools. I could make a pit right now, 75% success rate though. But we did it. Just curious what these Hornitars have in them. But my chances of actually being able to carve one are very slim. Do I just go with the Sonics and say that's good enough? I can only think of 2 more mining spots we haven't done. Oh, but I haven't gathered any bugs. I haven't used our bug net at all. Oh boy, a Sply Max potion. There's another bug spot over here. Isn't there? Yeah. Flash bug. We don't need flash bugs. We've already got flashes themselves. And then there's a mining spot over here. Straight up large barrel bombs. Not the worst thing to find. Still not particularly helpful for getting a fish out of the water. We might have to just go with the Sonics. Now, isn't there a mining spot, like, against this wall somewhere? Or is that in later generations that they added that? Looks like it's probably later gens. Okay, I guess Sonic's it is. Get out. It worked instantly. I really should have just stopped looking as soon as I found the Sonics. This thing's not even flashable. It's immune to flashes. Yeah, this thing cannot be flashed. I guess the flashes are for the small monsters. Sucks to be that Vespoid. Okay, I was gonna say, I swear if you go back in the water. Get over here. That's a good fishy. Thanks, Evasion +1. Lightning rods are interesting. But the most interesting part about them is the fact that they don't exist anymore. I should have used one of my, or not one of, I should have used my Sply Max potion. And he's going back in the water. And changing areas, too. Get out. Right, it's the Gen 4 games, or Generations specifically, I guess. It's Generations specifically where Sonics don't force Plesioth out of the water. In Generations, they just enrage it, which encourages it to come out of the water, but doesn't force it out. It's Freedom Unite where if you Sonic it, it always comes out. Gen 3 as well. Yeah, Generations, they changed it for no reason, and it was terrible. And the fish is almost dead. You can tell because its fins have gone floppy. Or droopy, I suppose. So this is going to turn out to be 15 minutes of prep for a 5-minute hunt. Yeah. Also, hello to the newcomers. It really sucks that Plesioth's head is so hard in this game. It's a terrible hitbox. I actually timed out on a Plesioth quest once because I wanted to... Or because I was hammering its face, because my first Plesioth that I fought was in 3U. And in... Or no, it wasn't actually. But I was used to fighting them in 3U, where its face is soft. And so I thought, hey, if I hammer a Plesioth's face in this game, we'll get a nice, good clear. No. Plesioth's head is hard in this game. There are too many hard faces in Freedom Unite. Every time a face is hard, it's a slight, specifically against hammers. Okay, carve special throwing knives from Iopraise and Genpraise. Actually, hang on. Oh. His tip for the Plesioth was, don't get hit. What a tip. Alright, once again, we've got a good hammer. Because it's the same freaking hammer. The exact same hammer. And we've got Negate Hunger. Not bad. Item-wise, not a whole lot. So, I guess the things that I am most interested in are healing supplies and some of those knives. I would not mind getting my hands on para and poison knives for a scimitar. Alright, what do Congas have this time? We might not find out just yet. Oh, we will. Okay. Potions are not the worst. Pretty sure these crabs are immune to flashes as well. Not gonna need more than one paintball. Okay, that's a potion spot. Could be worth gathering at. Getting a potion from this guy, mostly just to get rid of him. So that I can gather these potions in peace. I love finding nothing from a gathering spot that isn't empty. Okay, 7 regular potions is a pretty decent amount. What comes from this mushroom spot? A map I don't need, and don't want on the screen because it takes up a lot of real estate. There's our crab. Might as well paint it and keep moving, I suppose. Actually, no, we might as well paint it and then kill it. I don't need knives to fight this thing. Ow. The swine are angered. I don't want to stick in there dealing with them, so a quick trip out. I do kind of wish I had gotten myself something to increase my maximum stamina. Because we might have negate hunger, but having that limit be lower to begin with does kind of suck. Just barely didn't have enough stamina to dive there. Ooh, nice flinch. Another swine has been angered. An angry mosswine is just a softer bullfango. I don't want to stick around in there. So we leave to reset the pigs. Nice flinch. The fact that it missed me with the little turnaround claw swipe made me think that, oh, maybe I'm too low for its attacks to hit me. I was not. And the crab has apparently become noisy, but not the right kind of noisy. Oh, yes, the right kind of noisy. It's almost dead. Read that wrong. other claw was going to come down. And I would have been fine if it did. Proof that the crab is not flashable. There we go. Outlander, I agree. Shogun Scimitar is great. Though the way they ruined its animations in Gen 4 kind of sucked. Like the attack where it moves forward with its claws held wide so that it can catch you. In this game, it held its claws low, which made sense. In Generations and GU, held its claws high, which made it look like they would go right over your head, but the hitbox was still down low where it was back in Gen 2. They freaking ruined it. Rathalos time. Hang on. This battle hinges on making the most of opportunities. Yep, that's how Rathalos works. So here, flashes are actually going to be useful. And it looks like they give us some with some sets. Do I want to go... with the duels? The greatsword. Probably the duels. And Shakalakas can give us demon drugs. Good to know. And barely any freaking green. And these are ice weapons? Why would you give me ice weapons for a Rathalos? Maybe the greatsword is the way to go. I mean, it's got better green. Hang on. 624 raw versus a 140. Yeah, I know the duels have a different multiplier and all, but I think the greatsword is actually going to end up being stronger. And then there's the fact that the greatsword absolutely has some fire res on it. Attack up large, auto tracker, health plus 20, and hunger increase. Not liking the hunger increase, but the other things are nice. Yeah, I think I'll go greatsword. And yeah, Forest and Hills Rathalos does kind of suck, but it sucks less when you have auto tracker. Oh, we got one flash bomb. Okay, let's see. What's in the poop? Potions. Or I guess more accurately, potions. Enjoy the PSP resolution Aptonoths in the background. Aptonoth tails have no hitbox. And these are still raw meat. I think what the different creatures give has been fixed the entire time. Like, every Aptonoth we've carved in these has given raw meat. Every Bullfango has given flashes. Which means, let's find Bullfangos. Which means Velociprays probably give throwing knives here. We don't need small barrel bombs. And the Bullfango's not in here. Lame. What about the ruined camp? Does this give anything? Is there anything gatherable here? No? Weird. Looks like there might just be no Bullfangos on the map. Which, like, I can't blame them, considering the whole reason I want them is for flashes, and if they gave me access to easy access to flashes, this quest would be made into basically child's play. Antidotes could theoretically be helpful. I don't think I'm going to need more than one. I doubt I'm going to need even one. I'm certainly not going to need more than two. Bullfango! Okay, yep. That clinches it. What the different creatures drop is fixed. Okay, what's this barrel spot give? A Sply Max Potion? Sply Max Potions are great. And I haven't had anything stolen, so... What about the spiderweb? Power coating. For that bow that I'm definitely using. I mean, I guess they had to have power coating on the map somewhere. For the people who are using bows. Glad this Bullfango comes back. I wonder how many times it comes back. That is worth investigating. Looks like that's it. We get them twice. So we can come up here, but why? There's nothing gatherable there. I guess it's just for the atmosphere? We've gotten things from Melinxes. But not from felines. You just blew up your friend. Give me a sparkly. I don't want to have hit you for nothing. Cool. I attacked those cats for nothing. Alright. Well, we've got 3 flashes. It's enough to get started. Though I am going to see what's in these mushrooms before I do anything else. Okay, an iron pickaxe. There's a chance that the mining spots could give us things that we care about. Okay, now it's time to actually harm this boy. Whoa, that was An instant charge before even saying hello? But I guess I'm one to talk, considering I unsheathed my weapon before saying hello. He's a spinny boy. Is that all you got? You're gonna need to learn to do better, bud. I almost got my sword out in shield mode there. I'm not close enough. He bit me. I am eager to find out what this sparkly is going to be. That makes sense. I'm going to have to spend it because I took enough damage getting it. Nice wing break. Very useful flinch. Ow. Greysword just charges so slow in this game. I really wish I had focus. Was not trying to roll forward. Uh-oh. Thankfully, he did not decide to punish me for that. And there we go. Wow, actual Rathalos parts. Shame we don't get to keep them. Not that it would matter if we did, because I don't need Rathalos scales. I have gone a little bit beyond low rank. Forgot I had gathered a Splymax potion. Interesting. It automatically releases your charge at that last flash. Like, I am holding the triangle button that whole time. Oh, we got extra fire coins for breaking things. And now for the last special training. Hang on. Gold hue when angered, attacks are powerful. Okay, so when it enrages, it can do damage. What useful info. So I'm guessing the red liquid we have here is a demon drug and not a hot drink. Okay, hammer is decent. Attack up large, detect, and double paralysis. Thankfully, the double paralysis won't matter in the slightest. And yep, that's a demon drug. Well, time to hammer a monkey. Don't know why I keep pranking myself with the freaking item box. So I'm guessing this is going to be a map. Yep, it seems they like to put maps as the very first gather spot. So we know Aptonoths give raw meat. Do popos? Outlander, clearly that Asura is a reference to Asura's Wrath, another Capcom game. Definitely not a reference to any real-world religions or anything. No, sir. Ooh, potion spot. Don't do it. It did it. And our Antecas just like Kelbies, much like Popos are like Aptonoths. Yes. Yes, they are. I bet that honey spot has something really nice in it. The first time we found anything we could go fishing with. I wonder if there's any value to fishing. Like, would the fish give us something other than just what they are? Okay, this pig is going to give us a flash. I don't know that I want to use a flash against a Rajang. Now, do I drop here to get to the honey spot? I think so. Then I drop here to get to a mining spot. And then we carefully... Do we drop off here to get to the honey, or do we have to jump? I forget. The answer was drop off and then jump. Clearly. I wonder if that honey spot's reachable without going all the way up to the snow. Well, I guess no, because the snow is right at the top of this vine. I wonder if it's reachable without going all the way up to the top of the area. Like, doesn't look like I'd be able to reach it from here, but I can give it a shot. Like, maybe a jump from here? Nah, this ain't Monster Hunter 4. Also, looking at the time, this is going to end up being the last quest of the day. But hey, a Rajang is a fitting end. We'll have to save the G-level training for next time. Okay, so we drop down here. And then... I don't believe we can make that jump from here. So I suppose we must drop down again. And then we drop down one more time. Don't go too far. Lame. I used to know how to get to that honey. And while I am certain that that honey spot has something really nice in it, I don't know that it's worth a third attempt. I wonder if these guys are going to be made of throwing knives just like their brethren. Probably. Oh no, sleep knives. Hang on a minute. A monkey just jumped in here. Yeah, I'm gonna save this area for later. Okay, what am I gonna do about my stamina? Psycho Serum's not exactly helpful. I have Detect. Thawing Agent, not exactly helpful. Unless I plan to spend a lot of time playing with Guillapraise. What I need right now is Mega Potions. But also hot drinks, maybe a barbecue spit. We do have power juice, but it's not going to last for the entire monkey. Oh boy, I love finding nothing. Gunpowder is not at all helpful. My stamina is in tatters. Please, Mr. Mountain, spare some hot drinks. You know, I said gunpowder is not at all helpful, but... Please let there be hot drinks in the abandoned camp, please. Please let there be a hot drink vein in the mining spots. Oh. Alright, we're in business-ish. We still have not much in the way of stamina. But at least we can keep our stamina from going down due to weather. Of course, now I can keep my stamina from going down due to anything at all, because it can't go any lower. Don't know why I kept gathering at the paintball spot. I don't need paintballs. Well, actually, no. With how Rajang jumps from area to area, paintballs aren't useless. I have detect, but it's not always active. Book of Combos 1. There's a monkey in here. Thankfully, he's not going to be looking back here. Oh boy, I get to climb this the slow way. Well, not entirely. Oh. Can't hold R1 for too long. Can only do 4 grabs worth of dash. Ooh, a perturbable shock trap. I suppose that was worth mining. Hope there's something useful up here. I don't know if there's even any gatherable spots up here. Yeah, this is only for planting the guild flag. So, there are only 2 areas that I have yet to check. I'm starting to think that that honey spot probably was the barbecue spit, but there is one more honey spot that I haven't checked. And honey spot is where I found the barbecue spit in the Plesioth quest. I can't dash at all. This sucks. Can barely dodge. That's not a particularly useful mining spot. Yeah, game, I know I'm hungry. Hey, there we go. We're in business. There's a really small window for cooking things right. That was too early. So, this burnt meat can't do any worse for us than we've already got. Oh yeah, tripled our stamina. Could have sworn there was, like, a mineable ice crystal around here somewhere. But maybe that's only in later games. Anyway, this is the other honey spot. What's it gonna be? Mega potions. And I probably haven't gathered that spot out. There are probably still more mega potions there if I need them. Okay, so I made a large barrel bomb and then I just mine one. Really devalues my efforts, game. Alright, let's see if the Rajang is currently not in this cave. We can also mine the upper level. Again, I don't think I want to flash a Rajang. That seems like a recipe for agony. Okay, a couple bug nets could allow us to potentially get some useful stuff. Though we've already got most of what I would consider useful and or usable. I do want to fill up on sleep knives, though. Being able to put the monkey to sleep. Especially when we have bombs. And the crickets. We might be able to turn those into large barrel bomb pluses. That would be great. There's Book of Combos too. And you know what? A Farcaster is actually pretty useful right at this exact moment. Because we had just finished gathering out that area. And I wanted to get back to the Popos so that I could get myself some meat. Damn it, Vespoid. 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 I swear, if this thing despawns and I didn't get any carves because of this stupid bug... There we go. Yeah, you know what? Maybe now's not the time to cook that steak. Okay, it's monkey time. Is monkey big? And I just realized, I said before the quest started, that the fact that we've got paraduration ×2 wouldn't matter at all. We have in fact been paralyzed on this quest. Sure, we can't be paralyzed by our quest target, but being paralyzed in general is absolutely possible. Ow. Oh, I wish that didn't have the upswing effect. Such a waste of a trap. Though admittedly, that punch didn't hit as hard as I expected it would. Of course, now he's mad. He was not mad before. I was hoping to at least get the Vespoid, but no, instead I just got hit. Ow. Ooh. Monkey, please. Well, there goes that attempt. And I do not have time for another. Though at least now I know where the barbecue spit is. We have to get pickaxes for it. I don't remember where the pickaxes came from. But I know where the barbecue spit is. I know where the hot drinks are. So I know how to get in business faster. Almost finished 2 sections of the training. Almost. I wonder, does the farm restock after training quests? It does. But yeah, unfortunately, that's got to be it for this stream. So I'll just say thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. And I will be back probably on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday seems most likely. And I think we'll do one more Freedom Unite before I go back to doing more Pokemon, just because I'm enjoying myself here. So yeah, Tuesday, more Freedom Unite. See you then, friends.